Welcome into another episode of Homegrown. This week, we bring in Jackson Athletic Director Dan Michel. Mr. Michel, welcome in.
Hey, welcome. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Of course, and a little different. I mean, throughout the Homegrown series, we've had a lot of baseball, whether it's coaches, players, alumni, kind of taking a different avenue this week on the series. And before we start, let's get a little background info on you. I know we were just talking off the air. You've been here for quite a while.
Been here since 1989. I don't know what that equals out to, 33 years. It's been a great run. Obviously, it's a great school system. The township's amazing. The growth that we've had, it's been a really nice run.
It absolutely has. And before we even talk about high school athletics, your first taste of it was over at the middle school, correct, as the AD for middle school athletics?
As far as the athletic director part, yeah. You know, from 89 to 2012, teacher, coach, head wrestling coach, coach football, lacrosse, and then in 2012, I went over to the middle school as the AD and kind of like a dean of students and did all the fun stuff, the school trips and whatnot.
And once, Terry Peterson, who was the athletic director here during my time when I graduated in 16, he left, you accepted that position and moved up here to the high school. So why don't we just talk about that first and foremost, the difference between having 6th, 7th, and 8th graders versus now, kids getting ready to go to college, ready to play the game at the next level.
Yeah, it's a little different. The middle school kids, as far as the athletic program, obviously there's a lot less because there's a lot of sports such as baseball that doesn't have a middle school program through our school. But anyhow, so it's not quite as hectic, obviously, whereas the high school, we're sitting here with over 21 varsity sports, and it's a lot busier, obviously. And, of course, I guess what you're playing for is a lot bigger, so the emphasis on, working out and winning and those kinds of things and the pressure from the parents and whatnot, obviously is much more intense, at the high school level. But, the kids are kids, I think. They all want to play hard and they all want to get coached hard. And, our coaches do, the same coaching. Obviously, it's a little more intense at the high school, but, it's been a great experience.
Right, and off the experience, it's been a great run of success for the high school athletic programs. 10 years, including this past school year, of winning the All-Federal League Sports Trophy. Is that correct?
That is correct. We've got a nice string going. Obviously, we're blessed with a lot of great athletes. I think we have a lot of great coaches, that coach, 12 months out of the year. Of course, they're demanding of the kids, and the kids put in a lot of extra time. And we're blessed with great parents, to be honest with you. A lot of times people want to say stuff about the parents, but our parents are very, very supportive, and of course they do the things in the off seasons and get them into the NSTs and I don't know, wherever else you're going, the warehouse and all these different places to get their kids extra work. So that stuff's great. The travel teams with baseball, those things cost a lot of money, but our parents, get it done.
Right, and there's a reason that the teams across all sports here at the high school have been so successful during this 10-year run.
Absolutely.
In the Federal League, and that's included multiple trips to state championship venues. I know some aren't always in Columbus, but just talk about you as an athletic director, how much fun that is, and also how proud it makes you to see teams throughout all different avenues and all different sports, boys or girls, get down there. Maybe not always coming through, but I mean, getting down there is a big accomplishment in and of itself.
As a player, I was blessed enough to make it to a state tournament. As a coach, I've taken kids down there, but the state tournament and getting there, I don't think there's anything better as far as high school sports. I mean, you're making it to the pinnacle of success. It's an exciting time period for everybody, and you're absolutely right. That's just, it's fun stuff, and of course, there's a lot of hard work that goes into that. Mm-hmm. No question.
Really rewarding, I'm sure, once you get there, but as we know, the job's not done until you're the last team dogpiling, as Coach Gamble says, and hoisting up that trophy, which you've been very fortunate enough to see since you've taken over here.
Well, we didn't win a state title yet since I've been here. The last 2 state titles, that was under Terry, but I've been a part of it. Yeah, mm-hmm. Obviously I've been down there for all of those, and absolutely, there's nothing better for your community than watching your kids raise that trophy up. No question. Exciting.
You mentioned the athletes and the parents, and so it's something I want to touch on with both. First, the athletes, though. We see a lot of kids nowadays. There was multiple kids playing multiple athletes. For you, does it bring more joy to you to see kids staying in multiple sports? Does it make it harder on you? Because I know you have to deal with every sport, every coach, and right now there's some kids that are trying to play 2 sports in the same season. So just all in all, how much of a task is it, and does it make your job more difficult? And do you get joy out of having kids play multiple sports?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it makes my job more difficult. I definitely get joy out of watching kids play multiple sports. And I think it's great for the kids. You look at a kid last year, Johnny Coolidge. I mean, here's a kid, he's all Ohio in 2 sports. Of course, he played basketball, and he was, coming off the bench as the 6th, 7th guy. And I think back to, the Dingler and what he did. I mean, you take him off of any one of those teams. I mean, we won the Federal League in football, won the state in obviously basketball, and you win the state in baseball. If you take him off any one of those teams, those championships probably, may not happen.
Right.
I mean, that's hard to say, but he was an integral part of all 3 teams. So I think it's very rewarding to watch it. I think it's exciting to watch those kids. And quite frankly, I think each sport complements the other.
Right.
There's something that you're learning, in say football, that's going to help you on the basketball court. Obviously, the hand-eye coordination of baseball, that's going to help you in all those sports, and just the athleticism. So I love watching multiple sport athletes, no question about it.
Right, and that is something I know Coach Gamble preaches, and I'm sure other coaches in all your programs, preaches being versatile and playing multiple sports, although there are some that only focus on one sport, maybe once they commit to play their sport at the next level. But now parents, you touched on it, saying people on the outside say, how do you deal with the parents, this, that, whatever, and you mentioned the parents have been great. Do you have anything you'd want to tell the parents that maybe don't know you yet? Maybe their sons and daughters are coming through and they're entering middle school, or maybe they're getting ready to come to high school. Is there anything you'd want parents to know about you, and just as they get ready to continue to play their respective sport?
I guess a message that I would like to get to parents, and I think the majority of understand this. I had 3 kids go through, and they played multiple sports and different things, and sometimes as a parent, I think you're watching your kid, and I guess in coaching we use the word rose-colored glasses. You look at your kid, and maybe you don't see some of the mistakes he's made compared to maybe the kid he's competing against for a starting role. But our coaches do a great job, and our coaches are going to put the best 11 players or the best 9 or whatever sport you want to talk about, basketball, the best 5 players in the court. Sometimes you'll hear somebody say, well, they play favorites or they're playing daddy ball. And if you look at the success that our programs have, you're not having that success by playing favorites and playing daddy ball and things of that nature. Our coaches, I believe, 100% have the best for those kids in their hearts. They want the best out of them, and they're going to play the best, and of course they want to win. Quite frankly, in our league, and of course in our expectations for our teams at the district and regional level and in state level, our expectations are high.
Right.
Everybody expects to get to that next level and win at that next level. So, our coaches, I think, do a great job of evaluating talent, and they do a great job of coaching that talent. And I think parents sometimes need to take a step back, let the coaches coach. The parents' job should be to support the kid at home at the dinner table. Hey, how did practice go? Everything good? After a game, you build them up. Every once in a while, you'll hear a story of a parent, you may be tearing a kid down or blaming it on a coach or something of that nature, which that's not helping. We need to all pull in the same direction. And like I say, the best thing I think parents can do is be very supportive of what's taking place.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that, and I know there's going to be some that see this and realize that they are some of the parents we're talking about that support their kids, and others that we'll see, and maybe they can go that way as well. But one thing I want to touch on before I let you go is you played sports, you've coached, like you said before we got on here, right at the age of 19 when you were in college. How important is it, or not important, I'll say, but how big is it that the sport that a kid plays sets them up down the road in life? Not just because not everybody's going to play in college, and then even after college, it's few and far in between that somebody makes it to the next level being a professional. But do you agree that playing sports throughout your career helps set you up for life later down the road?
Absolutely. There's so many lessons that you learn. There's hardly a day goes by that I don't think about my high school football and wrestling coach, and that's gospel. More so maybe in sometimes some of the lessons my father taught me, but our coaches, if they're doing the job right, and I think they are, you know, they're teaching more than just how to play the game. You know, they're teaching how to be a young man. They're teaching you how to overcome adversity. Everybody's going to face adversity. In the world we're living in right now, we have a lot of people that are struggling with facing adversity. But through athletics, you know, you learn how to, you know, overcome these things. And that's probably one of the most important lessons that you can learn. How to be a teammate, how to work together. Every job you have, no matter what, you're going to have to learn how to work with people. You know, sometimes I hear people say, well, you know, this coach is too tough or that. Well, sometimes you're going to have a boss that's too tough. Right. You know, and you got to learn how to deal with that. And of course, I think the mental toughness aspect of sports is setting you up for success in life. Absolutely.
Perfect. I would agree. You know, playing sports in high school and in college, and now being in the real world, I'd say it's definitely set me up for success. And the battles you face when you make it to the real world, you know, corporate America or whatever job avenue you go down. But Coach, or Mr. Michael, you're still Coach.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I want to thank you for hopping on this episode of Homegrown. I hope everybody out there enjoyed this. Stay on the lookout for another episode dropping next week on the Jackson YouTube page and Jackson Baseball Twitter page. Until then, we'll see you when we see you.
Appreciate it.